Hey,
Good morning.
good morning. I wasn't sure if you wanted to do Zoom or
No, this is fine. I just wasn't sure. For some reason on my desktop or my laptop, I can't see invitations like my phone. But anyway,
all good.
okay, yeah. So all good. So what I usually do is I share a presentation with them. I go through the whole thing because this is pretty much how we do the introduction. We don't really talk about the company. We talk about pricing and we talk about basically doing soft closes for the appointment. I mean, for the listing.
Mm-hmm.
And it really leaves like no room. What I found is for questions about commission. Nobody ever questions the commission with this presentation. Hold on a second. You know what happened to me the last time? And I'll explain to you because that's what I've been finding, like, how do I bridge the gap?
Mm-hmm.
I found that, like, with this older gentleman, I think he was like 90 or it was 87 or 92, something really old like that.
Okay.
And I did this presentation. He's a very intellectual man. Like, he had been, like, commissioner, all this stuff. But still old. I over-explained things. And I basically, even though it was great, it was too complicated.
Okay.
And he ended up going with someone who just simplified the whole situation for him.
Was he a driver?
He's definitely, yes, 100. But like, I also tried to, like, when I would bring him back to, I get it, I understand, like, and then I would bring him back. What he wanted was simplicity.
Mm-hmm.
What he wanted was someone who said, you're going to sell the house for this much, you're going to give this much, and sign on the dotted line.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he wanted some explanation because he was still a smart man, but like not.
That's a typical, that's a typical driver. How much is it going to cost? Can you do it? And how long is it going to take?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So when you encounter that, and you can tell within 5 to 10 minutes of talking to them initially what kind of personality style they are: amiable, expressive, driver, analytical. Yeah. I tend to ask them, describe your house to me. And asking that question will elicit either, again, a driver who is, this is what I bought for, this is what I paid for, this is what I want. Can you do it? It's generally what they'll say when I ask them that. Analyticals will get into room sizes, room dimensions. This is what I paid per square. I want this per square foot. I notice that's an analytical.
Yeah.
An expressive will probably respond well to what you just did, which is explain everything to them. And the same thing with an amiable.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So that's
my personality.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So yeah, which is, I haven't gotten, this is the first year that I've gotten as many appointments as I've gotten, and it's funny because I've gotten more appointments with less closing. Like,
okay,
with the way the numbers have been,
mm-hmm.
There's just more appointments, but like, I guess there's more competition out there too right now, because people are just like, they're using that whole buyers are paying for their own commission
mm-hmm.
thing to
sure.
get the listing. So
it's real.
What's that?
It's real.
Yeah. Yep. And what I'm finding is with that same agent that took the listing that that should have been mine, but whatever, it wasn't mine. Mm-hmm. What she did was that she told the seller, you don't have to worry about paying a commission. What she would tell the agents is put your commission into the offer. Just go strong.
Yeah.
And I was like, as much as I hated her for doing it because she took the listing, I think that's genius.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's smart.
Yeah.
So,
So
here's what I would suggest is, number one is, yes, you probably should have just been more direct with that one.
Yeah.
So, and then again, with the ones that you're getting. So talking about conversion, mm-hmm. we know right now that listings are down and sales are down almost half from what they were 3 and 4 years ago. Yeah. The numbers are bearing that out. 6.5 million transactions in 2020, 2021. We're down to 3.9 last year.
Yeah.
That's a huge drop. Mm-hmm. It's a huge drop. So knowing that, the ones that you get, your conversion rates have to be eminently stronger because you're getting less leads.
Yeah.
So that's why these being in proximity to people that are able to help with that, whether it's role play, whether it's people that are closing, things of that nature. Hold on one second.
Mhm.
I got somebody outside. Hold on.
No worries.
Oh, I got you. Cool. Yep. They're just spraying for exterminators.
No worries.
So yeah, so the conversion rate needs to be on point for that.
Yeah. Yeah, you need to be like more skills,
Yes.
better skills.
Yes. So with that, again, it's important to to just know that matching that personality style and what
Yeah.
they are is going to be really important. Because again, you're noticing it. If you're an expressive and you're talking to a driver and within 10 minutes you haven't gone over price, you haven't gone over time frame, you haven't gone over what we can do, you're going to lose them.
Yeah.
They're gonna tune out and be like, all right, like we're good. I'll call you, and they don't call you.
Yeah.
So
That's crazy. Like it was such a great, like, he even ended up showing me his house, like that because it was an investment property that he was selling.
Mm-hmm.
Showed me his house, and he's like, leave your name with me because I'm gonna tell my kids about it. You did great. I followed up with him. He said, it's crazy because he's like, you can have my house. You did a wonderful job. He's like, the other lady just made it more simple.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, God dang it. Like, I'm like, oh,
yes,
that was so frustrating to hear.
yes, love that.
Yeah.
That. So yeah. So what do you want to? So what do you think is going to be helpful for you right now? Do you want to roll? Do you want to go over and role play like I'm the seller and you're going to go for the close? What's going to help you?
So I'm trying to think because see, this is my thing. Like I got in front of him. I like, yes, I over explained because I love the data. I love this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So when I get and I love the presentation and the way that it really just leaves no room for like questions. So I really like, especially like I get excited talking to smart people actually, like because I'm like, this person's gonna really appreciate everything I know and how I explain it.
Sure.
But then I think my gap or my downfall is not really knowing how to talk to someone who's like because I could be direct too, but then I'm like, if I'm direct, my form of direct is rude, right?
Okay.
Or it could come off as rude. Like I don't want to like come out, dude. Let's just like get to the point.
Sure.
I guess my thing is like, how do I talk in a way with someone who's a direct, still professional? You know what I mean?
So what I would notice is during the presentation, like if you're talking to a driver, you may want to cut it. You're going to have to cut it shorter. You have to. Yeah. So drive to important points because usually what a driver will do is let you know up front that price is going to be important. And when they do,
and see what this is because he's older again. When he was probably in his prime, he would probably been a different communicator, right?
Maybe.
So like with this older gentleman, he just wanted to be the one talking. He wanted to talk about, obviously, they start talking about their ex-wife, and then they start talking about the house and everything they did to the house. And this is everything he's talking about. And he really didn't have a number in mind that was unrealistic, but he did have a number in mind, right? Like, yes, he's like you said, he's like, I bought it many years ago for this much. He's like, so this is what I think it's worth.
Yes.
And like, and that's when we went into like the whole conversation of like, yes, it's worth that. Here's the number, here's the data, here's the comps, and this is what you're going to end up at bottom line. Yeah. I don't think any of that information, the man is wealthy, right? Like he lives in a beautiful house in North Haledon. I don't think the money was like a huge factor for him.
No.
I think it was just a matter of like, who could get it done and like give me less pain.
Well, so what I'm noticing is I think that for this particular scenario, getting to the point quicker would probably have bared you more fruit. Yeah. Because once they start, like there's a train track to a presentation. It goes in a train track. Yeah. And for me, it's laying out expectations, what we can do, what they want, timeframes. Because I assumptively close my beginning presentation probably 5-6 times. And I haven't gotten to the pricing part of it yet. Now, if I'm noticing that they are, it's the conversation's going and it's going and it's going and we're 15 minutes in, I haven't gotten even to pricing yet, that's a problem.
Yeah.
It's a problem. So I know that I have to bring the train back on the track and get it to where the next, where we're going next is either pricing or, hey, it sounds like you feel really comfortable with me, Mr. Seller. So once we can come to an agreement on the price, is there any other reason we wouldn't be able to just move forward with the listing today? That is a tie down, feet to the ground question.
Yeah.
So in all of his explanation, which is great, he seems comfortable with you. You've built rapport. The rapport building is over. You've already done it. Now it's just putting their feet to the fire. Hey, it sounds like you feel very comfortable with me. So once we can come to an agreement on the pricing part of the property, is there any other reason we just can't move forward and get the paperwork done today, get this property on the market, having buyers walking through it in the next 2 to 3 days?
Yeah.
Tie down question. And if he says no, or I'm not sure, then I'm going to want to draw that out. Okay, well, I mean, and I appreciate you sharing that with me, Mr. Seller. I guess I'm a little confused. Sounds like you really want to get the property on the market as soon as possible. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So again, it sounds like there's a little bit of hesitation. What about this presentation have I not gone over that you were hoping to hear?
Yeah, that's good.
It's a closing question. It's a tie down question.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because what I'm trying to do is draw out of him what the hesitation is.
Yeah.
That's what I want to know. Why are you hesitant? You sat and we just talked here for 15, 20 minutes. We haven't gone over anything yet as far as price, but it sounds like you're very comfortable with me. So now I want to find out why.
That's good.
Yeah. So when you notice that you're getting the seller's getting comfortable with you, okay? Because my beginning part of my presentation is probably 8, 9 minutes, and then I get to the pricing part. Because it's all assumptively closing.
I think that might be something that I need to possibly work on, because if the conversation's going and like I see that they're still looking, they're still kind of engaged, I'm like, I always ask the questions. I don't just ramble on. I'm like, does that make sense? Does that all what I'm saying make sense to you? And like, or like, do you have any questions about what I've just said to you?
Yes.
Like I'll ask, because I want to make sure that they're still engaged and not thinking about like tomorrow's plans or something,
sure.
Right? Or the next person that they're going to be meeting. And then so like, but because I keep going, I just kind of focus on like almost like a presentation versus like the conversation we're having.
Mm-hmm. You have to bring them back. You have to bring them back.
That's probably lack of practice too.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not doing it, I'm not practicing it. I'm kind of just going off the script,
Yes.
I don't sound scripted, but because I know the presentation well, but you know what I'm trying to say, right?
I do. Yes, but so when the train goes off, so to speak, you have to, so then having that practice and an understanding of bringing it back, there's questions that you can ask to bring it back, because they're going to, I was talking to another agent last week, actually, and he's an expressive. He's one of the agents that I work with he's with me. And we were going over, his presentation, and he started talking, and I said, brother, if you get another expressive, I said, you guys are going to talk for an hour. You probably don't even get a signature yet. I said, you have to be careful. 2 expressives will talk for 45 minutes about anything and everything. You guys have the same dog walker. We go to the same gym. We go this, we go that. Listen, man, it happens because you've like attracts like. But you have to have the ability to bring it right back into, wow, hey, sounds like you really feel comfortable with me and my team just being able to get the absolute highest we can for this property. So really, I think, Pam, once we can come to an agreement on that, the price of the property, it sounds like we can just get started and get the property on the market and get buyers walking through here in the next day or so. Is that right?
Yeah.
That's what I tend to ask when I notice that I have awesome rapport and buy-in from them.
That's good.
Yes.
Yep. It's like a soft close.
100%. 100%. Well, I have a ton of soft closes.
It's a much better way than standing like, hey, can you sign here? Like,
Yes.
that's why I'm here. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So,
And it gives them exactly. And then, you know, I bet you if you probably asked, I mean, if you asked them in the beginning, you know, the three things, which is, you know, hey, I just want to begin our time together today by saying thank you for providing me the opportunity to share some information with you, help with the sale of your home. Sound good? Yeah. Always like to begin these conversations by asking a few quick questions to make sure that we both have the same information that can help you best. Does that sound good? Yeah, perfect. First question I have is, and I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this based on what we spoke about earlier, is that you're definitely going to be putting the property on the market for sale. Like you're definitely going to sell the property. Is that right? They'll be like, yes. Okay, great. So I can check that box off. Second question I have is that I'm aware, Mr. Seller, you'd like to position the property price-wise to sell. Now, what I mean by that is obviously we're not looking to give the home away here, but it'd be your preference not to have it sit on the market, you know, 6, 7, 8 months just testing it out. Is that accurate? Is that accurate? Yeah, we're not going to give it away, but of course, you know, we're looking to sell the property. Perfect. I'll check that box off. And then the last question I have is I sent you over some information so you could do some research on us, you know, some past client reviews, our social proof, websites, things of that nature. Have you had a chance to take a look at that? Yeah, we looked at it briefly. Okay. Now the question I have for you is have you and your wife, or, you know, just you, already decided that you would just like for me to handle the sale for you? I bet you we probably would have told you yes, if you came out of the gate and asked him that.
I wonder.
Because you had rapport with him. Did you have rapport with him before you met him at the property?
I would say yes, because I had been calling him for weeks, and then I finally got him to get his son-in-law to come meet me at the property, and then I met him at his house. So I would say, yeah, that was like great rapport. So that is 20% of the people that I ask that question to when I'm in front of them will say like, yeah, you know what? Like we're ready. And then I don't say anything else after that. I say, perfect. I say, here's, let's just take care of the paperwork. Now, you know, in Jersey, there's only one sheet that has price and professional fee on it, which is the exclusive right to sell. Right. Everything else is just info. So I have them sign all of that. And then once we get to the one that's price, we go over that together. But now they've already signed 6, 7, 8 disclosures. So the buy-in's already there. So I bet you if you asked him that, he would have told you yes. Or, well, you know, we just really want to see how you're going to be pricing it, maybe how you're going to market it. And then you can go into your presentation. Yep, totally understand. I know this is a big decision for you and you want to make sure you're making the best decision. Is that right? Yes. Great. And I want to be clear, Mr. Seller, that is my intention today. That provided what I say makes sense, you feel comfortable and confident with me and my team, that we can get this property sold. I have all the appropriate paperwork with me. And if you feel the same, we can just get that out of the way and get those bona fide qualified offers coming in the next couple of days. That sound fair? Sound fair. I want to know what I did wrong with him. That one really hurt me. Like, you know what I mean? There's ones that you're like, oh, I didn't know I didn't have it. I felt like I had that one. Mm-hmm. And then he gave somebody else an interview. And that's another thing. He's like, okay, that's all great. Thank you so much. Yes. Jessica from such and such is gonna, like, she's coming over tomorrow. And so I promised her and like an appointment because she helped me rent something else. Yeah. And, you know, so I'm like, how, like, I was just like, at that point, I was just like, okay, what do you think that it is Jessica can do, you know, differently that I haven't said today in our presentation? And he's like, no, I just promised her, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then at that point, I'm kind of stuck. You know what I mean? Like, I would have kept closing them. Yeah. I would have kept closing them 100%. Hey, you know what, and this is my last one before I go out the door, is, you know, hey, look, I'm here. Why don't we do this? We'll take care of the paperwork now. It's going to sit in this briefcase or in this, you know, attaché or this portfolio for 24 hours. You interview who you're going to interview. If at the end of that tomorrow, I'm going to follow up with you at 9 a.m. You either tell me, you know what, we're going to go in another direction, or, you know what, Pam, you are the person for the job. We knew you were the right one, and we are super excited to get this property on the market and for you to get us as the absolute highest. Now, you see how excited I get when I talk about me
and how I just breeze through. Well, you're either going to go and say, you know what, we're going to go another direction, or I just breeze right through that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my ender. If I close them 3, 4, 5 times and they're just not, they're not looking to list. But I think you probably could have just done tie downs to get him to sign, because he was ready to do it with you. You just didn't ask him. You didn't ask him. Yeah, you didn't ask him.
I did not.
That's all it is. Remember, man, someone's not going to buy unless they're asked. It's not in our nature. They're not going to do anything unless you ask them.
That's true.
Ask them to close. But you're basically asking them by closing them.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I was just like, I know. And I think it was just that lack of like confidence.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I don't want to have like that commission breath. Like, come on, like, give me the listing,
Yeah.
It was just, yeah.
No, it sounds and it's so non-confrontational, but tying down when you hey, it sounds like you really just feel comfortable and confident with me, myself, and my team that we can just get you the highest amount here. So, I mean, shoot, other than price, is there any other reason we just can't get started today?
Yeah.
That is if he's got somebody else in mind, he will tell you right there. Because you're asking for the signature.
Yeah. He did, and I had that one. It was so close, and it was such a great property in Hawthorne.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
That's okay. This is good. So, so your presentation, when you add in assumptive closes, it's already in their mind that they're going to be closing with you or signing with you and selling the property with you. Mm-hmm. One of the things that I'll say is, hey, so in terms of time, in terms of the property itself, were you looking to make any changes or modifications before I start to bring those buyers through? Or are you thinking you're just going to sell the property as it is where it is? That's NLP. Before I start to bring buyers through. Now, already in their brain, you're bringing buyers in, which means the property's listed with you. Now, at the end, I throw in, I mean, there's other ones I do. So in terms of time frame, Mr. Seller, are you looking to get the property on the market as soon as possible? And they'll usually like, yeah. Okay, so today's Monday. I mean, if I was to have my photographer out there, let's say Wednesday, maybe Thursday, the latest, I mean, he can just take pictures so we can get the process started. Is that right? Mm-hmm. It's an assumptive close. Now, you did
be able to, like you said, land that plane, because sometimes they just take over the conversation, and I'm like, I feel bad like interrupting them. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
Those types of things, like those, and again, I think it's just a lack of practice in terms of like, because you don't have to be rude and cut them off, but you can just kind of like
drive them back in, get the train back on the track. That's all. That's all it is. And then one of the ones hey, so you did mention to me, Mr. Seller, that there is a mortgage on the property. I think roughly around 300, 350. Is that right? Yeah, something like that. Okay. So were you thinking you want to act like a bank and maybe hold a note, hold paper for a buyer? Or are you thinking you just want to get all your cash when we're at the closing table signing papers to close? Now he's already doing two things, Pam. Closing, and closing with who?
With me.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yes. And they're always like, no, I just, I want to get all my money. I want to get all my cash. Yep. Got it. Hey, I'm crystal clear on your situation, Mr. Seller, and feel supremely confident that myself and my team can help you just net the absolute most and do it in a quick and efficient manner. Now, the only thing we really need to focus on today is the time. Now, what you can do there is even close and be like, is there anything else that we need to go over today before we just go over the paperwork? You can ask that there. And if they say price, no problem. Let's go over that now. And then you go into your pricing part of it.
It's like, the point is, you don't have to always go through the whole presentation.
No.
Depending on who you're talking to.
Exactly. Exactly. Because the first question, the three questions that you ask in the beginning, the last one is, okay, great. So, did you have a chance to take a look at that? Yes. We breezed over it. Okay, great. So the question I have for you is have you already decided that you would just like for me to handle the sale for you? See what he says. You'll get 1 out of, I don't know, maybe 6 that is going to say yes. Because they're comfortable with you. Or they know you, or you've been calling them and they're ready. Like they're like, yes. Yeah, we think we're good. Perfect. You don't say anything else. You take out the listing paperwork and you just start bringing them out for them to sign. And then the last one that you will bring to them is the one with price and professional fee. But they've already signed 6, 7 disclosures in Jersey. So you know that they already have them signed. So now it's just a matter of going over the price.
Yeah,
which you have.
That's good.
Yes.
Those are all good. I need to practice those. Practice is the key.
It is. Totally is. Because look, have I lost listings based on what I'm going over with you? What do you think the answer to that is?
Not many. I'm thinking no, right?
No, I have. Of course I have.
Yeah.
The reason I do this way now is because I wasn't doing this before.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. I was losing listings and I'm like, how the hell am I said, man, I feel like I knew these people. Like we like bonded.
Yeah.
But what was I not doing? Nope. I was not closing them. And again, it's just you're basically politely asking them to list with you. That's all you're doing.
Well, they know that's why you're there, right?
That's exactly.
We always forget that.
That's exactly why we're there. So that's why in the beginning, one of the first questions I asked. Sounds like, look, if you feel, go over the information that I sent over to you, marketing, past client reviews, things of that nature. Have you had a chance to take a look at it? Yes, perfect. So the question I have for you is have you already decided that you would like for me to just handle the sale for you? Now you'll get, if they're not, why they're not. I want to see how you're going to price it. I want to see how you're going to market it. I want to know your professional fee. Great. And then what you can ask right after that is awesome. Once we can come to an agreement on those, because there'd never be a reason we wouldn't do business together. Is there any other reason we just can't move forward today and get the property on the market?
And then depending on what they say there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Most of the time that's like, yes, because you've already drawn out what their hesitation is. And it's not an objection. All they are just questions that they have that aren't answered. A question about your price, question about your professional fee, question about how you're going to present it to the public, and whatever other questions. I'm not going to do 6 months, whatever it is. And we just go over them there. So we may not even need to go over the whole thing, just some important parts of it. All decision makers are there. They're motivated to sell it. What's the time frame? And then owner financing. Are they open to doing that?
Those are great closers.
Yes. They're just tie-down questions that put their feet to the fire to find out from them, hey, where are you in this? Where are you with me? Are you comfortable with me? Are you confident in me? Do you feel like I can actually get the job done?
There's a reason why they have you in front of them. That's like my big thing. It's like if you've already done like the hardest part, which is getting in front of them.
Yes.
And now the matter of like closing it's a matter of skill, like you said, asking the right questions.
That's it.
Yeah.
It just comes to practice. All it does is come with practice.
Yeah.
All this is just practice.
Makes sense. Practice.
Yeah. So, I mean, if there's days that I have time and you have time and you want to run them through me, I'll practice with you.
That's really appreciate it, Daniel. Thank you so much. Seriously, this is so helpful.
Good. Listen, I've said this to you ad nauseum. You are one of the most talented agents that I know. You list regularly. It's just now refining that skill to get to however, 3 a month, 4 a month.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yes. That's what I want.
Yeah.
I'm working on it, and I appreciate it so much. Thank you. Like if I ever have something that I didn't understand, because this one like really killed me.
Yeah.
And I was trying to figure out like what did I do wrong, and like I'm like I just over explained. I didn't.
Yep.
I over explained, and not just that, because I felt like okay, he's intellectual, he got it, but because he's older, he was just like, what do you mean you're gonna get me like the most? And like I still did, he would have given me a 6%. That's the crazy part. He didn't even question my commission.
They won't. Well, here's an interesting thing.
Mm-hmm.
When your presentation is just smooth and solid and confident, that's the key word. You're not going to get an adjustment commission, a professional fee. You won't. You won't. And I was taught that by probably the top agent in Hudson County. We were at a Mike Ferry event back in like 2016 or 2015 when I was still with him. And we were sitting at a bar, and he just started explaining to me really in a nice manner, like what his presentation is, what he does. And I was just like, why are you telling me all this? Like, this is all your info. Like this is how he goes, you know why? And I said, why? He said, because you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
And he was right. At that time, I wasn't. Now I am. But
yeah.
So yeah, that's all it is when you're confident in your presentation and it just comes across that way, and they feel that confidence in you, just that's it. You're gravy. You're not gonna get an objection. You ask for the signature, you're gonna get it.
What's the famous or the really popular quote? It says, hold on, price is an issue and the actions of value, right? That's what, if you can't do a good presentation and you're trying to charge 6%.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. In our price point, you're asking for basically $20,000 to $30,000.
Yeah.
Each time. So if you're asking that kind of money, you have to know what you're saying. You have to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because somebody else will get it. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, hope this was
so much.
Yeah. I hope this was helpful for you. And again, if there's a time when you're just like, hey, I want to run through closers. I want to like just close you and I do this with some of the agents that I have that are, I don't want to say that I have that work with me in my, like they're either on my team or in my line. I do this with them. And I got a 21-year-old he just listed 3 probates on Friday.
Wow.
Yes. In one day.
Those are tough conversations, right? I didn't get to hear you.
They are.
Doing yours. I know those can't be easy.
They're challenging, but you have some empathy with it. And because again, look, at the end of the day, they're going to need to sell some of them don't have a need, some of them do. And it's just, you have to make the calls to figure out the ones that do. And then it's all in how your presentation with that is. Yeah.
Because I've done them, but they've all been referrals.
Okay.
So it's like it's somebody that I already know that usually refers them to me. So I'm like, okay, well, these are great freaking listings to get.
Yes.
But then to go out and try to get like people who don't know you at all, that's a little challenging.
It is. But again, I think if you come from a place of contribution and I'm not trying to take something from them, just empathize with them, find out where they are, find out, is this something you're interested in, which is selling the property that you just inherited, and then going from there. But there's a pointed way to ask the questions to get to it. Because again, if you're not going to get it, somebody else will.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. So.
That's fair.
Cool.
Well, thank you so much. I truly appreciate your time today, Dan.
My pleasure. I'm here if you need.
Thank you.
You bet.
Have a good day.
See ya.
All right. Okay.
Bye. All right. Cool. So, okay, guys, this is a really strong agent who she lost a listing to someone else, really, truly because she didn't close. She built up a massive amount of rapport, which is good, but said to me, I probably over-explained. And it's true. I said, is he a driver? And she said, yeah, I think probably. Can't do that with a driver. You have to mirror and match to some level their personality style. If you're an expressive and you start explaining, you're going to lose a driver in 5 minutes. And they're just going to be like, okay, great, I'm good. I'll call you. And they don't call you. They're going to find somebody that Can I do it? How much is it going to cost? How long is it going to take? 3 things the driver's looking for. If you can explain that in a short amount of time, the likelihood you're going to get the listing will increase exponentially. So that's all we did, was just practice some closes. So one of the things that I think that would have helped is if she just asked in the beginning, hey, I mean, it sounds like you're really confident with me and comfortable with the fact that I can get you the absolute most for the property. I'm here and we've been speaking, over the last couple of weeks. Is there anything else we need to go over before we just take care of the paperwork and get started? I would just ask that right out of the gate after we go over a couple of the questions. And I do in my presentation. That's right in the beginning. If they're like, no, I want to say you're going to price it. Okay. So other than pricing, is there anything else you would like for me to go over with you before we just, get the paperwork out of the way? Yeah, professional fee. Okay, great. So professional fee. Is there anything else that you really want me to go over in detail before we take care of the paperwork? No, it's just price and fee. Okay, great. Now you know exactly what's in their head. Those 2 things. Sometimes it's price and listing agreement time. We're not doing 6 months. Or price and marketing, how you're going to market it, whatever the case is. You're asking that question to draw out what's going on with them. Where are they at? Because I want to, you're going there to get a signature. That's why we're on the appointment. So, and I had these issues when I was beginning years and years ago, 10 years ago, 12 years ago. Ran into a great mentor, helped me out with closing and asking pointed questions, assumptively closing when you're in the presentation. Hey, so just noticing the house is very tastefully furnished. When I start to bring buyers through, are we going to be including the furniture, or are we going to leave it? You're going to take it with you to your next destination. That's an assumptive close, guys. So hope this was helpful for y'all that are watching. I just noticed there's a comment in there. How many listings do you get a month? It depends. This past month, we got 2 commercial and 1 residential. So another month I might get 1 residential. Another month I might get 3 commercial. Like, it depends. So right now I can tell you that I have about $8.5 million listed between resi and commercial. I'll take that back, about 7, because we have we have about 2 million in pendings right now. So it was a slow start to the year for closings, but now it's picking up because we had a lot of listings that just weren't getting over to closing. So now that's changing. So an answer to that, I don't know. I'll just say 2 to 3. I don't even know what you would even say. Varies based on lead source. Yeah. So I spelled that wrong. Varies based on lead source. Man, I can't spell today. Fuck. What's going on with me? Cool. All right. So that's what we got. I hope this was helpful for you guys. Drop in the comments, or again, just like and subscribe to the channel. I do these with agents that are on like my team. And by team, we don't take team splits or anything like that. I just mean agents that are in the organization that are with me in my downline. So I give them special attention, and they're just crushing it now. I have 2 agents one's going to probably do 30 million this year, and one is going to do probably 20, and they are, between the 2 of them, 21 and 25 years old. So they are crushing. And they'll sometimes call me, hey, I want to go over real quick a couple closes, or I want to go over real quick the presentation, because I'm walking into this appointment. It's a $2 million appointment. So I'll do that with them. I'll just drop what I'm doing and do it. So I'm not like fully in production, because I'm helping other agents that are with me just do really, really well. So I'm fine with that. So that's, again, those kinds of things we're totally good with it. So I wish you guys the best. I hope this was helpful for you. And be well. Love your life, y'all. Talk to you soon. And again, like and subscribe. Forward this to somebody else that you think this could be beneficial to, that could help them with closing or just on appointments. And I appreciate y'all very much. See you next time.